Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Pixel and welcome to the Sapphire Tech YouTube channel. In this video we're going to be taking a very quick look at the performance and presentation of Grid Legends running maxed out at 1440p on our Sapphire Nitro RX 6800XT graphics card alongside the AMD Ryzen 7 5800X CPU. All the gameplay in this video has been recorded using AMD Relive, and the performance overlay is provided by Radeon statistics server, so let's get right to it. Visually speaking, I think that Grid Legends is a decent looking game. Now, personally, I don't play too many racing games, so it's not really for me to compare this to, let's say, Forza Horizon 5 or the recently released Gran Turismo 7, but from what I have seen and what I have played of this, I've definitely got no complaints when it comes to the graphics. Whilst the cars in Grid Legends may not be quite as detailed as those found in other games, I really like the fact that there's a very robust damage model here, which means that when you start crashing into the environment or crashing into other cars, or just generally causing havoc, you're going to see a lot of that destruction and wear and tear reflected in the car's damage model. Now, in all fairness, I don't think that the damage model here is quite as successful or in-depth as what you'll find in a simulation racer. However, for a more arcadey game, I think that they've done a very good job, and personally, it's one of my favourite things about Grid Legends. When we start to take a look at the circuits, this is where I think the game kind of drops the ball a little bit, because I don't really find them all that detailed. Don't get me wrong, some races can look absolutely gorgeous, but a lot of that comes down to the lighting or the weather effects. The actual geometry itself for the individual buildings, I just didn't find that impressive. That's not to say that I found them bad, because generally I think they look okay, it's just it never blew me away like I would kind of hope from a modern title. With that said though, I have to admit, the game did look absolutely gorgeous once the lights go down and you're racing through the centre of a city with snow and rain pelting the window screen, so I don't know, maybe I'm just being a little bit overly harsh. Now, one thing that I will say that I'm really thankful for is the large number of camera options available when driving the car, because personally, I am a massive fan of the cockpit view, and I know that a lot of people really hate that and prefer the behind-side view, like the third-person view. But yeah, you can have the forward cockpit view, you can have the front of the car view, you can actually have so you can see the steering wheel and stuff like that. It's good stuff, and more options is never a bad thing in a game like this, so yeah, I love it. Oh, and this is like a side note to the cockpit view. The rain effects, when it actually pours down raining, look absolutely amazing. They really mess up your view, as in like it's very difficult to drive with them splashing all over the screen, but I don't know. I stuck with it because I just like the way it looks. I really do. But anyway, moving on to the performance, I have to say that the game basically performed flawlessly. The game is running on DirectX 12, which means that we're able to avoid a lot of the recent issues that we've seen with modern DirectX 11 titles, where we are getting thread-bound due to, I believe it's draw call limitations, which means that we're seeing our GPU usage drop and obviously frame rates dropping with that. Grid Legends doesn't have that problem whatsoever. It just ran flawlessly from start to finish. I'd say that our average frame rate sat around the 150 FPS mark, though there was some variance, especially between the cockpit view and the third person view, with the third person view generally running around 20 to 30 FPS better. This isn't really surprising since it's not having to render the inside of the cars, which are incredibly detailed, but it's just worth pointing out. Another performance boon that I'd like to quickly mention is the fact that the frame time variance was extremely low, which meant that I never really experienced any stutters in the 3 or so hours that I played. I'm not exaggerating when I say I don't actually remember a single in-game stutter apart from like during loading screens and a few cutscenes there's a couple of stutters, but actually in the races themselves it was as close to perfect as what you would find in a modern game. The final thing that I'd like to draw a little bit of attention to isn't really performance related in terms of the GPU, but I definitely think that it's worth mentioning, and that is the loading times. Now, the loading times themselves may not be anything spectacular, but the way that the game has been built structurally means that you can actually go from one race to the next within a matter of 15-20 seconds instead of the minutes that it sometimes takes in other games, which is so refreshing when all you want to do is race and you don't want to be messing around in menus or waiting for a race to start. So you can go from one race at the end into a new race within 30 seconds, I'd say on average, which is superb. Oh, and before I forget, a lot of the cutscenes for the campaign are actually live action video, and I have to give big kudos to the developers for getting real life footage into a video game without making it look awful. There's no blocking and there's very few compression artifacts. Generally, it looks great, and mwah, big chef's kiss for that one. With all that said, that is once again going to be me done for today, so thank you so much for stopping by and watching. If you've got any questions, suggestions or feedback, you can let us know by leaving us a message in the comment section down below. If you are new to the channel, then please remember to slap that subscribe button and ding that bell so you'll be notified of our future uploads. And as always, if you've liked the video, then please do like the video. With all that said though, from myself and everybody here at the Sapphire Tech YouTube channel, thank you again for watching, and until next time, we'll catch you later. Bye bye.